Welcome everyone to the mansion. This is Godwe Howard. Welcome to my new show. It's called The Mansion. This show deals with perception. Perception, how you perceive things, how you perceive yourself. Now, I call it The Mansion because before I got my first home, I started off in an extended stay. And I called that extended stay, I called it my studio apartment. Or my studio. When I got my studio apartment, I called it my apartment. When I got my apartment, I called it my house. Whatever I wanted it to be, that's what I perceived it to be. And then eventually it became. The only reason why it took so long for it to manifest is because one minute I'm calling it what I want it to be, and the next minute I'm calling it what it was actually was. Kind of in and out. I wasn't consistent with it because I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I was just, going off of what I thought I knew or what I thought other people was doing. So I called it whatever I wanted to call it. This is my house. I'm staying in an apartment. But when I started doing research and talking to different people and watching different documentaries on the universal laws, got more spiritual in depth with the Bible, being a Christian and God, I realized your perception has power. The Bible talks about that. Whatever a man thinketh, so is he. It starts from an ideal, which is a form of energy. It goes into words, which is a form of energy. And what you speak, it manifests into your life eventually. It can be right then and there. Depends on how consistent you are with it. Or it can come later on. So if you have your idea about yourself as being a bum, you will begin to speak like a bum, like a hobo or a person that's down and out. Even though that's your actual situation, you could perceive it to be something else until it manifests. So, if you perceive yourself to be a multimillionaire, you perceive yourself to be wealthy, and you're consistent with it, you will eventually become wealthy. You becoming wealthy is an ideal in your head. I see myself wealthy. I'm a wealthy man. You thinking it. It's an ideal. You begin to speak it. You begin to talk like somebody who's wealthy. Even though in reality you're not wealthy, you speaking it as if it's so. That's faith. If you go back to the Bible. Eventually after you speaking it, you will eventually become it. You begin to walk in it. You begin to see yourself wealthy. You begin to actually attract wealth. People that are wealthy. Situations that can empower you to be wealthy. Because your mind will put out that energy, and that energy will attract. Energy attract likes and energy. So you perceive yourself to be wealthy, you begin to think it, you speak it, you dress like it, you act like it. You will begin to attract people that are actually wealthy. You begin to attract situations that will empower you to be wealthy. Perception. That's your point of view. You can see the glass half full. You can see the glass empty. You can see the glass full. And whatever you perceive it to be, it will become it. That's one of the 6 mental faculties that we have called perception. How you perceive something or how you perceive someone, it will become. So I call this show The Mansion because I perceive my house now to be a mansion. It's a nice starter house, but to me, it's my mansion. I treat it just like a mansion, just like it was an actual mansion, because that's how I did when I had my apartment. I treated my apartment like it was an actual house. Until one day, it became a house. I actually attract the situation and people to me that help me get a home. Now, I see my home as a mansion. Now that I know exactly what I'm doing, the power of perception, sooner or later, it will be an actual mansion that you can actually see that is a mansion in reality. Right now, I'm perceiving it to be a mansion until it manifests. And that's why I call this show The Mansion. This show teaches you about perception, how to perceive things that you want in your life, how you perceive yourself. Whatever you want to become, you have to first think it and see yourself as an actual person. So if you wanted to become a nurse or a lawyer, you have to already see yourself in your head, ideal, as a lawyer or a nurse. Then you begin to speak it, and later on you begin to walk it. That's how perception works. Whatever you perceive that thing or whatever you perceive yourself to be, you will eventually become that. This is why this show is called The Matching. All I teach with this show is perception. How to use perception to get what you want out of life. You know, a person can be very unattractive. You see it all the time with men, but they perceive themselves to be handsome. So they walk in that confidence as a handsome man. And women are attracted to that. They see it with their physical eyes is, you know what? He's unattractive, but there's something about him. It's his confidence. It's how he perceives himself. He sees himself as handsome. Now, in reality with most, they see him as unattractive, but he sees himself as handsome. So he walks like a handsome man. He speaks like a handsome man. And women are attracted to that. A confident man. That's how I move. I move like I'm a handsome man. I talk like I'm a handsome man. I walk like I'm a handsome man. I drive like a handsome man. I perceive myself as handsome. Now, what you perceive me to be, that's on you. But I see myself as handsome. The power of perception. That's how it works. You know, as I do more shows, I'll go more in depth about perception and how it can empower you in life, how it can empower your relationship with your family, your girlfriend, boyfriend, your husband, wife. Power of perception. This is what the matching is going to be about. I'm teaching about perception. What you perceive that thing to be, it will become. What you perceive yourself to be, you will eventually become that. Thanks for tuning in. The first episode, the first show of The Matching. Subscribe to it, click like, dislike, leave a comment, share this video. Thanks for watching my other show, Godwe House. Thanks for tuning in to my How video. Look out for other shows. Thank you guys for tuning in. And this is Godwe Howard presenting to you the first show called The Mansion. Thank you. Be blessed.